You were listening to chartingwealth.com for Wednesday, the 6th of December, 2017. As we look at the market for the day on Tuesday, the 5th, we see the S&P 500 down 0.36%. The Nasdaq 100, as we affectionately call it, the Q's, up just barely 0.07%. We see 20-year bonds up 0.5%, and we see gold down 0.71%. Let's first, as we always do, jump to the S&P 500. What do we see going on the weekly chart? Now remember, this is only the first 2 days of a 5-day candle, the weekly candle. Never call a candle until the candle has closed, and this doesn't close until Friday. We do see a nice green candle forming. Now, of course, that is subject to change, as is the price percent oscillator and the derivative oscillator. Once we get all the way through the week, what we see so far, derivative oscillator losing energy, price percent oscillator not going up at the same strong angle it had been going up the prior week. We see that the candle so far looks pretty decent, but doesn't mean that it will stay that way. It is right now, and that's wonderful. We see that the weekly chart is, of course, continuing to move up. Weekly trend line, price movement well above that. As we tune into the 2-day chart, what do we see? Well, we see that the 2-day chart has also flattened out some, and we see that the candle is again booming up above the 2-day Bollinger Band, which again, Bollinger Bands are your volatility bands. They're stretching out further as price movement continues to go up. Derivative oscillator continuing to gain energy. So things are looking pretty good on that 2-day chart. Now, of course, we do have this latest candle has finished drawing, so that is a good 2-day candle. It's finished, and again, strong up movement shown there, even with a bit of a peeling off over the course of the day on Tuesday. As we look at the 4-hour chart, you can see that the real up movement in that 2-day candle is what happened on Monday morning. Monday afternoon, things really slid sideways and then tending down since then. 4-hour chart has just crossed over going down. Is this the pullback we've been waiting for since the 2-day chart crossed over going up? Well, it may very well be. Again, we're waiting for a pullback, and once things on the 4-hour chart cross back over going up, it would be our jumping in point for more up movement if indeed things do that. So we'll continue to keep our eye on the S&P 500. Things do look good on the bigger charts, and we'll just continue to watch and see what happens. We need that rollback on the 4-hour chart so we can jump in later. What's going on the Qs? Down, it's up 0.07% for the day, but we can see so far the 2-day candle for the week is a spinning top, means lots of indecision, trending down, getting close to crossing over, going down, penetrating both the 50-period moving average, that'd be the 50-week average, and the red signal line. Derivative oscillator continuing to lose energy. So things look like for the Qs, they are really dropping off. What's going on the 2-day chart? Well, of course, it crossed over going down back on Friday the 1st. And this latest 2-day candle is again down movement, continuing to move down, has broken through the, of course, the weekly trend line back there on Friday. And we have a new trend line since we had that crossover going down. And again, price movement, derivative oscillator heating up strongly, as is the price percent oscillator. As we look at the 4-hour chart, what do we see? Well, again, of course, strong down movement. Price percent oscillator still heading down strongly. Derivative oscillator losing downward momentum. Maybe that's because of the up movement throughout the course of the day on Tuesday, but again, not strong up movement, still well below where things dropped off on Monday afternoon by itself. So we'll continue to watch, see what we see on the Qs. Maybe we'll have a weekly vertical crossover going down toward the end of the week, and then you would have the opportunity to jump into either a put or potentially an inverse fund on the Qs on the Nasdaq 100. Let's keep moving along. Hey, the beauty of the weekly vertical crossover continues to show itself. Remember, at the end of the week, on Friday the 1st of December, we sent out that text. We let everybody know we had a weekly vertical crossover going up. Well, things have continued to move up on TLT, up for the day, 0.5%, half a percent. Derivative oscillator continuing to gain momentum. And of course, the price percent oscillator moving up. As we look at the 2-day chart, what do we see? Well, the latest 2-day candle is a green up candle, long wick on top, a little short wick on the bottom, price movement above the weekly trend line. Now, the 2-day trend line, we're going to have to redraw that as soon as we have enough green candles, but we haven't started doing that yet. Still well below where it had topped out before. But again, it touched on that line earlier, that trend line. So we'll continue to watch. Price percent oscillator moving up nicely. Derivative oscillator sort of looks to be flat. Now we look at the 4-hour chart. What do we see? Well, of course, that 4-hour chart crossed over going up in the morning and continued to zoom up in the afternoon. So things are looking rather nice on TLT. Again, just continue to keep your eye on the prize. The prize is, of course, earning as much virtual dollars as earning as many virtual dollars as you can in your practice trades. So we want you to, again, learn how to use these weekly vertical crossovers. They are the most powerful things that we have to offer you, and they seem to work time and time again. So far, they're working on TLT. And also remember, bonds and gold tend to be the safe havens where things go when the market's stumbling and having a little trouble. And again, we have seen the Qs stumbling some, and of course for the day, the S&P 500 down just a little bit. So lastly, we will go to gold, down 0.71% for the day so far this week. A red down, strong down candle, derivative oscillator gaining downward momentum, price percent oscillator slamming down. What do we see on the 2-day chart on gold? Ooh, just crossed over going down. So now we have the 2-day chart and the weekly chart heading in the down direction. And of course, what's beautiful about the charting system that we use at freestockcharts.com, it's so easy to draw trend lines, to draw vertical crossovers, you name it, just beautiful. So now we have things moving in the same direction on the 2-day as well as the weekly. Like we said, for the day, down 0.71%. What's the 4-hour chart showing us? Well, we're having some real movement, and our 4-hour chart has been working nicely since that crossover going down back on the afternoon of the 29th. Things leveled off a little bit on the 1st of December and then have sort of been tumbling since. So again, things are looking nice with everything pairing up on gold, moving in the same direction. Don't forget that 4-hour chart tends to stop working around the 15th of December. Doesn't start really working again until gold starts trending after the beginning of the new year, sometime between the beginning of the new year and the 15th of January. Folks, that's where we are as we end the day on Tuesday, go into Wednesday the 6th. Hope that you are having a great week, are practicing or filling out your daily market worksheets every day, your weekly market worksheets for that special broadcast we do over the weekend for Monday, and that you're doing practice trades. I hope that you did the one on TLT on Monday and you jumped into that and you are tracking it, keeping up with your notes. You want to know how to use those worksheets? We have great training at the website. That is chartingwealth.com, and be sure to sign up for and subscribe. It is absolutely free and you get all the benefits. The daily market worksheet, link to our PDF, the weekly market worksheet, trade worksheet, how to read a stock chart video, and the layout that we use at freestockcharts.com. God bless, my friends. Let us hear from you. Write us cw@chartingwealth.com. All the best from the whole team here at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.